In this video, we are going to discuss the Bellman-Ford algorithm. So, Bellman-Ford algorithm also stands for single source shortest path. In single source shortest path problem, there will be one vertex considered as source from which we find a path to all other vertices such that they have minimum cost or shortest paths. We have already seen Dijkstra's algorithm and greedy method doing it, but Dijkstra's algorithm does not work for negative edges. But here, when negative edge lengths are permitted, we require that the graph have no cycles of negative lengths. Thus, we go for Bellman-Ford algorithm by making use of dynamic programming. So it means that in case we have a graph with vertex A, B and C such that the cost of the edge from A to B is 16 and cost of the edge from B to C is minus 3, and there is an edge from A to C which is equal to 18. So Dijkstra's algorithm, when used to find shortest path from A to C, gives us a value 18. But whereas the shortest path from A to B and then B to C can be given as 16 minus 3, that is equal to 13. So this is where Dijkstra's algorithm fails. It means that Bellman-Ford algorithm permits us to work with edges having negative weights. So before we can move on further, let us look at some terms used in Bellman-Ford algorithm. The very first one, dist of LU. Dist of LU stands for length of shortest path from source vertex V to vertex U such that it contains at the most L number of edges in it. So similarly, dist of 1U is always equal to cost of VU. So it is nothing but distance from vertex 1 to all other vertices is given as the cost of the edge from V to U, where V is our source vertex. So it is representing the distance from vertex 1 to all other vertices. So we have some real-time applications of Bellman-Ford algorithm. Basically, it is used in an app called Google Map, wherein we can use Bellman-Ford algorithm to find the shortest path between any two locations. Similarly, it can also be used in setting up telephone networks such that we can find out the lines to have bandwidths enough bandwidth to route our calls via a line which has a highest bandwidth in it. So now the recurrence relation for Bellman-Ford's algorithm is given as dist of k u is equal to minimum of dist k minus 1 u comma minimum of dist k minus 1 I plus cost of I to u. So what is this dist array? So dist raised to ku is nothing but the distance from source vertex v to vertex u such that it has k number of intermediate edges in it. I repeat, dist raised to ku is nothing but it is going to give us the cost of reaching vertex u from the source vertex v with k number of intermediate edges in it. So this recurrence relation can be used to compute the values from dist raised to k till dist raised to k minus 1 as for any graph given with n number of vertices, you can have a shortest path consisting of only n minus 1 edges. So now let us look how exactly this recurrence relation works with the help of an example. So here we are given the graph. So graph, it's a directed graph. It also has edges which have negative weights in it, right? So let us try to find the shortest path to all of the vertices starting from vertex 1. So let us consider vertex 1 to be the source vertex. So very first step is assign dist of k of 1 is equal to 0. So dist raised to k of 1 is nothing but the weight of the edge that comes into the very first vertex, that is the source vertex. So here 1 is source vertex, it means that it has no edges coming into source vertex 1, so therefore dist raised to k of 1 is always set to 0. Okay, so here you can see this matrix. We call this as the distance matrix. So k stands for number of iterations. So I said you if there is a graph with 7 vertices, then it will have at most only 6 edges in the shortest path. So this recurrence relation will run for 6 different iterations, and this first row which says that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 are nothing but the vertices of the graph. So we said that the first step is dist k of 1, we set them to 0. So it means that it is nothing but setting the weight of the edges that come into the vertex 1. So here whether it be for all the iterations of k, there are no edges coming into vertex 1, so therefore we set this entire column to 0. So the second step is assign dist of 1 of 2. So it is nothing but Here in this case, dist 1 of 2, I read it as it is a distance from source vertex to vertex 2 with only one intermediate edge in it. So therefore, when we look at the graph, we have an edge coming from source vertex 1 to vertex 2 whose cost is equal to 6. So in order to understand the explanation better, I recommend you to draw the graph in a separate paper. So you can look into the graph and then compare it with the presentation here. Similarly, dist 1 of 3 is nothing but there is an edge from vertex 1 to vertex 3 whose weight is 5. So similarly, we list it out for rest of the vertices. And from the graph, we see that for vertices 5, 6 and 7, we do not have any edge coming from vertex 1. Right? So please remember here, dist raised to 1 is nothing but it tells us that there should be a single edge coming from the source vertex to these vertices or the other vertices of the graph. So when I do not have an edge from source vertex to any other vertices, then I set dist 1 of these vertices equal to infinity. Right? So step 3 says that now you compute shortest path to vertex 2, 3, 4 and 4, 5, 6 and so on, such that you have only two intermediate edges. It means that for the first time I will calculate dist raised to 2 of 2, which is nothing but I want to find out the distance from source vertex 1 to destination vertex 2 such that I have only two edges in the shortest path. So I'll make use of the recurrence relation, which is given as minimum of dist raised to k minus 1. Here k's value is equal to 2. So k minus 1 is dist of 1, comma, minimum of dist raised to k minus 1 of I plus cost of I, comma, u. So u's value is 2. So here u's value is 2, k's value is 2. So this entire thing now reduces to dist raised to 1 of 2, minimum of I is nothing but the iterations. So dist raised to 1 of I plus cost of I, comma, 2. So i's value will range from 1 to 7. Please note here I am not making use of i's value equal to 2 because I don't have a cycle from vertex 2 to 2 itself in case of Bellman-Ford algorithm. So Bellman-Ford algorithm will not work when you have cycles. So in the graph we do not have a cycle from 2 to 2. So therefore i's value is going to range from 1, 3, 4 and so on till 7. So we were calculating dist raised to 2 of 2, which is nothing but minimum of dist raised to 1 of 2. So it is with one intermediate edge I must reach vertex 2 from source vertex 1. So it is for the first value of k I can reach vertex 2 at the cost of 6. And minimum of dist raised to 1, initially i's value is 1. So dist of first iteration reaching 1 is 0 plus cost of I, comma 2, that is cost of 1, comma 2. I'll get it from the graph itself. Cost of reaching from 1 to 2 here is 6. So for the second time, now i's value will become equal to 3. I's value will not become equal to 2 because I don't have a cycle from 2 to 2. I'm trying to find the distance of reaching vertex 2 from vertex 1. In the meantime, I will not try to find a shortest path which has a cycle in it. So therefore, I eliminate I is equal to 2. So now I is equal to 3. So this time dist raised to 1 of 3. So I will obtain it from first iteration. Reaching to vertex 3 here is 5 plus cost of I is 3. So cost of 3 to 2, I'll get it from the graph. I have an edge from 3 to 2 which is having a negative value minus 3. So here I get it as 5 minus 2 is 3. So for the next time i's value is equal to 4, then the equation becomes dist raised to 1 of 4 plus cost of 4 comma 2. I'll be getting this cost of 4 comma 2 from the graph. So please check. I do not have an edge from 4 to 2 directly in the graph. So therefore I set it as infinity. But whereas dist raised to 1 of 4, I will get it from first iteration, fourth vertex, which is to be 5. I find a minimum value amongst these to be 3. So therefore, at the location dist second iteration reaching second vertex with a minimum cost of 3. So you can observe here, dist's second iteration reaching second vertex is at the cost of 3, right? So I have now found out dist of 2 raised to 2. The next time I should be finding distance to reach vertex 3 with intermediate edges to be at most 2 or exactly 2. Please observe here. So the next thing that we have calculated is distance to reach vertex 3 from the source vertex 1 with 2 edges in the shortest path. So again, I make use of the same recurrence relation, but here k's value is equal to 2 and u's value at the present u's value is equal to 3. So I apply the same recurrence relation here. So I will get dist of 1 3 from the matrix to be 5. Then I try to find a minimum of dist of 1 of I is 1. So plus cost of I comma u. So it is cost of 1 comma 3. I'll get this from the graph. So the next time i's value will become equal to 2. So I substitute it. I get the cost of 2 comma 3 from the graph. Please remember, in this iteration I shall not be making use of I is equal to 3 because I'm not interested in finding out a shortest path which has cycles in it, and as though our graph does not have a cycle in it, right? So 3 to 3, there is no question at all. So then we try to find out the rest of the values for the value of I ranging from 4 to 7. So among all the values that we have calculated, we again find that 3 is the least value. So therefore, reaching vertex 3 from source vertex 1 with only 2 intermediate edges in it is given as 3. So similarly, what we are supposed to do is calculate dist 4 raised to 2, dist 5 raised to 2, distance of reaching vertex 6 with 2 intermediate edges, and also calculate distance of reaching vertex 7 with a minimum of two intermediate edges. So once you are done with calculating a shortest path with two edges in it, the next step is to calculate the distance of reaching all other vertices 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 from the source vertex 1, such that the shortest path now has 3 edges in it. So therefore the distance matrix to be calculated now is read as distance to vertex u, which has 3 intermediate edges. So first we calculate dist of 2 raised to 3. Next we calculate dist of 3 raised to 3. Next we calculate dist of 4 raised to 3. Similarly we do it for vertex 5, 6 and 7. So I have calculated dist of 3 raised to 3. So in the third iteration, the cost of reaching vertex 2 has now become 1, which was 3 in the previous step. So cost of reaching a vertex 2 from source 1 in second iteration was 3, but in the third iteration it reduces to 1. Right? So I leave it up to you to calculate dist of 4 raised to 3 till dist of 7 raised to 3. So after you are done with this step, the next step is you are supposed to calculate shortest path to vertices 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, which has 4 intermediate edges in it. So similarly, after completing that step, you are supposed to compute shortest path to all other vertices from source vertex 1 with 5 intermediate edges in it. That is, you are supposed to compute dist raised to 5 of 2, dist raised to 5 of 3 and so on till dist raised to 5 of 7. And in the last step, you are supposed to compute the shortest path to all vertices from source vertex 1 with 6 intermediate edges in it. That is, you are supposed to compute dist of 2 raised to 6, dist of 3 raised to 6 and so on till dist of 7 raised to 6. As we know, for a given graph with 7 nodes, there will be at most 6 edges in the shortest path. So once we calculate dist raised to 6 of 2 to dist raised to 6 of 7, we come to the end of the problem. Right? So thus the overall complexity of this Bellman-Ford algorithm, if made use or if we make use of adjacency matrix, is given as O of n cube, and in case if you are making use of adjacency list to represent the graph, then the overall complexity can be taken as O of ne, where n stands for number of vertices and e stands for number of edges. Okay, so coming to the Bellman-Ford algorithm here, you are given the source vertex V, you are given the source vertex V, you are given the cost matrix, you are given you are supposed to calculate the distance matrix, and you have number of vertices. So initially for all the vertices you are going to fill in the distance matrix. So dist of I is said to be the cost of all the edges from the source V to I. And in the second for loop here, so number of iterations, how many edges should we have in the shortest path? So it begins from 2 and it will go till iteration n minus 1. So for each vertex u, such that this vertex u is not the source vertex, it means that we have at least one incoming edge in it. So we try to find out, is there any intermediate edge to reach u? That is, if we have an intermediate edge such that I have an edge from I to u in the graph, then I first try to compute the distance of u, that is distance of an edge coming directly from the source vertex v to u. If it is greater than the distance of an edge coming from source to vertex I plus the cost of an edge going from vertex I to u, then you replace the value of distance of u with dist of I plus cost of iu, right? So this particular innermost for loop works for all the vertices u that are in the given graph. So this entire thing happens for all n minus 1 iterations. Thank you.